Hi friends, welcome to this sixth video on protection of information assets. In this video, we will cover these three very important topics. Internet security, what does a firewall do, and what are the different types of firewalls. So let's get started with internet security. So guys, we as IS auditors, we must understand the risk and security factors which are needed to ensure that the proper controls are in place when a company connects to internet. Why proper controls have to be in place? Because what the malicious users outside of your own system, outside of your own network, what they do, they attack the organization generally in two steps. Step number one, they do the Reiki of the systems or the network. Reiki is a general term which actually means probing. So they many times they straight away don't attack the network. They send their agents, those small programs to probe, to understand your internal network architecture, which is also called the passive attacks, where they analyze the network, where they analyze the traffic. They understand the entire architecture. Yeah. So that is first step. And once they get full information or good amount of information about their network, and then they are unable to do the DDoS, distributed denial of service attack. That's the more common versus the DOS attack. And many different forms of attacks they can do, which may include packet replay or maybe the email spoofing, which are becoming very, very common. So so these are the two steps which they perform. Number one, probing, and then the actual attack. And that is why the moment your internal network is connected to internet, the implementing the security of that of your network becomes very, very important. And how we do it through implementation of firewalls. So what does a firewall do, guys? Firewall do a lot of activities which helps our internal network. What are those activities? Number one, firewall filters ingoing and the outgoing traffic, and we will discuss that in more detail in this video and the next one as well. So number one, it filters ingoing and outgoing traffic. It block access to particular sites, the site which you don't want your employees or the visitors to access. It includes pornographic, it includes many times the file sharing sites, because companies have the risk of their internal data being shared outside the organization using those file sharing sites. So these are two examples, but there are many different companies request their IT department to block different type of sites. So that's something which can be enabled through the firewalls. It helps limit traffic on the organization's public services segment to the relevant address and ports. So how it does? It does through various configurations, and the objective, guys, is many times the competitors or the bad agents into the internet world, they try to bring down some websites just to prove their supremacy, just to prove that how intelligent or how powerful they are. So firewalls can be configured. So if your company expects this type of attack, so they can limit how much traffic will be allowed to your particular server or to a particular service, so that if too much traffic is bombarded, right, then it is controlled and it is limited. And you would have already seen many times when you try to access a particular a particular website or a particular application multiple times within a short period of time. First thing it does is it challenges you by asking, prove that you are not a robot. And so it may give you a calculation, what is 2 plus 5? So you have to type that it is 7. Yeah. And sometimes it gives you an error message that you have tried to access this application or this server X number of times, so you have to wait for a few minutes before you can try again. So those are few examples, but the purpose is to ensure that that you are a genuine user, to check that you are a genuine user. And if someone is trying to send too many requests onto a server to bring that server down, those requests can be stopped. Okay? Then it is to prevent certain users from accessing certain servers or services. As I said, this is to ensure that only the genuine users are accessing the application and the services. Monitor and record communication between an internal and external network, so that tomorrow, if even with all the good attempts, yeah, with all the good controls, still if something bad happens to my network, then the company would like to perform analysis by looking at the logs. So those logs are maintained into the maintained by the firewall to see, to understand, to study what went wrong. Yeah. So these are some of the benefits or features of implementing firewalls. With that, we move to the next topic, guys, which is what are the different types of firewalls. Okay. So if you see, there are firewalls can be split into these 4 categories: packet filtering, stateful inspection, application proxy, and the next generation firewalls. Some of them, guys, we will cover in this video, and some we will cover in the next video as well, because this is an important topic, and basic understanding of how different firewalls work is very important for you from your CISA exam perspective, as well as from your real IS auditor experience perspective. So with that, let's get started with the first firewall type, which is the packet filtering. Okay. So what it does, packet filtering firewall. So guys, it is considered to be the one of the foundational, one of the the most basic firewall. Still value, absolutely value. And what it does, it checks the header of every data packet. Okay, which is traveling from the internet, which you see on the right hand side. So internet is being represented as a cloud. And this firewall acts, this packet filtering firewall acts as this wall. And what it does, every data packet, yeah, which is coming inside your network, what it checks these 3 things, which you see in the next bullet. Number 1, it checks what is the information, what is the IP address of the sender and what is the IP address of the receiver. Receiver means where it is going. So that in case some of the IP address, the company doesn't want to be accessed from outside, or if there's some IP address which the company has blocked, those IP address can't be reached or can't come inside, right? Similarly, the port numbers, which are the port numbers which are authorized. So it checks onto the these 2 data on the packet header itself. And with this, the router can prevent certain packets from being sent between the internet and the corporate network. Okay. And since it is not reading the entire data, it is a fast solution. So it operates very fast. Why? Because it is checking the header of the packets. And because these type of firewalls do not prevent web-based attack, they are not the safest. Yeah, because they are doing a limited action, and hence they are not considered to be safest, but good foundation, right? So that is why they are called the basic ones, packet filtering firewall. With that, we move to the application firewall systems. Okay, so what are the application firewalls? So basically, guys, application firewalls, they use a series of configured policies to determine whether to block or allow communication to or from an application. Okay, and that is why it is called an application firewall system. And what does that mean? Since it is targeted at securing an application, for each application you need a different application firewall, because your policy requirements, what is allowed, what is not allowed, will vary from application to application, and hence it is application specific. And within, guys, the application firewall, there can be 2 ways to configure them. One is active firewall, second is the passive. So what happens in case of the active one? They are the ones which see whether the traffic which is passing, whether it is as per the policy which has been configured in me. If it is as per the policy, it allows. If it is not as per the policy, it blocks that traffic. And that is why it is called active application firewall. What the passive one does, it also checks whether the traffic which is going is as per the the configured policy or not. If it finds that the traffic is not as per the policy, it still allows, but it keeps a log. Yeah, it doesn't reject the traffic, but it keeps the log of it. Yeah, very much like an intrusion detection system. So you will see in one of the upcoming videos that you have IPS, intrusion prevention system, and you have IDS, intrusion detection system. Now someone may say, oh, IPS prevents intrusion and IDS detects intrusion, so IPS is better. So why I will implement IDS? But guys, you need both, because no company in this world can give 100% guarantee that their networks cannot be breached. So while you always prefer to implement IPS, the prevention systems, but there is a possibility. That possibility may be 1%, maybe 10%, maybe 5%, but there is a possibility that your IPS may be breached. And hence you need IDS also to complement your IPS, so that in case 99% of the attacks were prevented, but 1% attack still went through, then you have intrusion detection system, which can alert the cybersecurity team, and then appropriate actions can be taken to minimize the damage. Okay, so that is why you need both. Similarly, passive application firewalls are also pretty relevant that way. Okay, so that was about the nature, whether the firewall is active or passive. But within the application firewall system, there can be of two types. Yeah, one is the application level gateway firewall. Second is circuit level gateway, and we'll have a quick look at both of them. So what happens in application? So within application, as I said, we have two: application level gateway. So what is the application level gateway firewall? So guys, if you see in the picture, the black color box, yeah. So that black color box is acting as an application gateway firewall. What it is doing, if you see, beyond that black color box, I mean on the right hand side, you have the web servers of the company. On the left hand side of that black box, you have the traffic coming from two sources. One is the internet, yeah, which is the external network. Second is the internal network, which is the corporate LAN. So what the application level gateway does, it acts as a proxy. It acts as a middleman. Okay, so it says, I will act as a postman, for example, where whatever you want to transfer to the servers, you give it to me. I will take it to the server. You are not allowed to. Similarly, whatever server want to give it to you, there will be no direct connection between you and the servers. Server will give it to me. I will give it to you. So that way, the application level gateway, they act as a proxy, and they do all the data transfer in and out. Okay, and we'll quickly read now. It is a program that serves as a firewall proxy. It runs between computers in a network to tighten the security. It is responsible for filtering incoming traffic that contains network application data. Okay, so it contains data relating to specific applications. And now I am at the bottom of the slide, which is, so what is an application gateway in simple terms? It provides an additional layer of protection against unwanted network traffic. Yeah, it is also sometimes known as application level gateway or application proxy. Why proxy? Because it is saying you want to meet that server. Okay, you meet me. I will, pass on your message. So I am the proxy. Yeah, I am the delegate, for example. Many times if someone is, has to attend a meeting, if that person is, say, super busy and can't attend, then he says, okay, I'm sending you on in my place. So the same role is played by the proxy. So now what is the circuit level gateway firewall, guys? It is the one which is very similar to the application proxy. And what it does, and what is the difference? Let's see. So I'm just reading again. A circuit level gateway, it acts as a proxy. As I said, both are proxy. Yeah, application level gateway is also proxy. This is also proxy. and has the same advantage as application level gateway in hiding the internal host from the serving host. Okay, because they're saying you talk to me, whatever you want to say, you pass it on to me. Okay, it operates at the transport layer of the OSI model and implements the connection and implements the circuit level or the connection level filtering rather than packet level filtering. Okay, so it checks whether the connections are right or not. So it checks the validity of connections at the transport layer. Okay, because we read in the OSI model, which is that of the 7 layers, which is that one layer which actually transports the data. It is a transport layer. Yeah. So what this circuit level gateway it does, it checks whether the connection, right, between whether those connections, they are valid or not. Okay, so it checks the validity of connection at the transport layer against a table. So there is a table which is maintained in that firewall rule base. So every firewall has a rule base. So that table is fed into it about the allowed connection. If this is the incoming circuit, and where all it is allowed from the internal network. Similarly, from internal to external. And the rules are defining a valid session prescribed. So what are the rules which are used to define whether this connection between internal and external, whether that connection is right or not? It is, number one, it checks the destination and the source address. Okay, it checks the time of the day, it checks the protocol being used, and the user and the password. So once these things are checked, then only that the connection between the internal host and the outside host, that connection is established or validated. And once the session is allowed, no further checks are performed at individual packet level. Okay, because that circuit level gateway says, I have ensured that the handshake has happened. Yeah, both are friends now. Internal host and the external host says they both are friends. I'm leaving them alone. Whatever they want to talk, let them talk. And hence, this is sometimes faster than the application level gateway. Yeah. So this is how it is similar to the application level gateway, because both are proxies, and this one focuses on the handshake between two hosts, and that one focuses on the entire data transfer happening through me. And what I have done in the next slide, I have pasted some of the unique features of all the 3 firewalls we have discussed in this video: packet filtering, application gateway, and the circuit level gateway. And you can pause this video and go through all these 5 features. For example, say packet filter, as I said, it is the one of the basic one. And since it is the basic one, it is least secure. Among the 3 guys, application is considered to be more secure. So the least one is packet filtering. Second level is circuit level. Why second? Why not the best? Because once the handshake is done, it doesn't look into the data which is getting transferred. But application level, it goes at the data level, and hence it is more secure among the 3. Yeah. And if I just read the bottom one, packet filters, they are easy to make mistakes. Yeah, because they are looking at the header level only. And the application gateway, they are normally used, yeah, in the organizations for email and file transfer protocols, etc. And for the web, the circuit level gateways, we can understand what is carried out in the packet. So that is the feature of these 3. So that's all, guys, which I wanted to cover in this video. If you have any questions, any doubt, please put it in the comment section below, and one of us will reach out, will respond as soon as possible. With that, thanks once again, and see you in the next one.